Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is in memory. Genia Brill Z passed away this week, a few days before Purim, and it's entitled The Halachot of Avail during Purim Part 2. In the first year we learned that according to the Shulchan Aruch, there is full Aveilut during Shiv'ah. However, the Shulchan Aruch in Yoredeya himself paskins that it is limited. The Ramah in Orach Chaim paskins it is limited, that we just have Aveilut B'Tzin'ah. We have no public Aveilut. So we have is on the Yamim Tov and Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, the three regalim, shalosh regalim, Aveilut is knocked out. It is canceled. Once one is in the middle of Shiva or Shloshim, that is canceled. However, and Shabbat, they work together. It's a modified Aveilut during Shiva. Person doesn't have any public Aveilut, but there is private. Person cannot have relations with his wife, vice versa. Washing L'Tanug, learning Torah, that applies during Shabbat. And on Purim, there's a discussion in the postscript, and the conclusion is that it is similar to Shabbat. There's no public expression of Aveilut, but privately, person does still have Aveilut, and the day of Purim counts as one of the days of Shiva. Now, what does that mean practically? Let's get into the details now. This is based on the Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah, Mishnah Berurah, and the poskim. So, we start off Friday night. Friday night is Megillah reading. So that means going out of the house. The poskim do say that if a person can easily have a minyan in his house and create Megillah in the house, even though normally we opt for a bigger minyan, Rov Am Hadrat Melech, we try to have a nice minyan with a lot of people and a lot of people rejoicing with each other at the Megillah reading and praising Hashem together through the Megillah reading. It's not ideal to leave the Shiva house even on Purim at night. So if a person could have a qualified reader in the house and a minyan in the house, that is ideal, if possible. If not, then the Avail goes to the shul, joins in the reading, has the mitzvah kriyat Megillah, for the simple reason that an Avail is obligated in all of the mitzvot. Every day of Aveilut, including Purim, he has to go and she has to go ahead and be involved in all the mitzvot, which include the kriyat Megillah at night, kriyat Megillah in the morning, the brachot of the Megillah at night, the brachot of Megillah in the morning, Mishloach manot, sending to gifts to a friend, matanot levyanim, giving to poor people, and the sudah, eating and drinking. So therefore, hearing the Megillah is one of the mitzvot of the day, and therefore they have to hear that. So that's at night. Regarding the morning Megillah, the Mishnah Berurah writes, Yemei Mishnah v'Simcha, the days are days of Mishnah and Simcha, and we have more of Yachsut, a relationship to the day, mitzvot, more than the nighttime. And the day is the day of the Simcha, more than the night. So Mishnah Berurah says, we don't need to be machmir and stringent and try to have a minyan at night in our house. We could freely go to the minyan in the day, in the shul, where there's more people, that's where things are happening, and Avail can leave the house. The Isser, the prohibition of leaving the house, is waived in the day totally in order to go to the Megillah reading. So that's that halacha. So now more details. Mishloach manot, person has a chiyuv to send. Rav Yashiv says, yes, but it is a simcha to send gifts, to send mishloach manot, presents, the food to friends, and therefore Rav Yashiv should be limited to the basic chiyuv, mishloach manot ish l're'ehu. You send 2 pieces of food to one friend, and you keep it simple this year. Others say maybe just a couple. You usually do 10, 20, 30, just do 1, 2, or 3. Or just do one, fulfill your basic mitzvah. Mishloach manot, in terms of the receiving end, we don't give presents to Avelim, and therefore we should not give to the Avail, Mishloach manot. Rav Yashav Kanayeski and others say that we could give to the family, we could give to the Avail's husband, we could give to the Avail's wife, give to the children. In terms of Choshen Mishpat, transactions when let's say the man is an Avelut. So Mr. Eggert is an Avelut. So if we give it to Mr. Brill's an Avelut, we give it to the wife, and let's give it to Mr. Eggert's wife. So then technically he is making a kinyan on her gift, and so there's a Hoshen Mishpat. There's a lot of complicated halachot regarding all year long the monetary relation between what the husband owns, what the wife owns. Rav Yesh says it's not a factor here. The issue is to do something which is considered she'elat shalom, which is considered a gift to the Avail. It's not a technical issue. It's something, an act of simcha. So when I give it to the wife, I give it to the children, and not to the Avail himself, and not to the Avail herself, then we are fine. So that's Mishloach Manot. The Avail gives, but we should not send. And Rabbi Yosha says, ideally, even to give a basic gift. Now, it's Mishloach Manot, Matanot Lavyanim. One, an Avail is chayiv, obligated Matanot Lavyanim to give money to poor people. So he has to make sure to arrange to give money. If he doesn't go out, he's in the house most of the day, just goes out for the Kriyah, and he normally brings money to people, so he should arrange to go ahead and give it to someone to make sure, to give it to the ani on the day, or a person might come to the door, often people come around collecting, so make sure, let us make sure to give to the two aniyim on that day. Then we have Seudah. The Avail is chayav in the mitzvah of Seudah, and drinking as well. The poskim say that we do limit the amount of simcha and the partying, which is a delicate balance, as we can all imagine. And Rav Yashiv says music, that would have to wait till after Shiva. There is room to be makil, to have music for an Avail during Shloshim, for 30 days, and Yudet Chodesh, the year, but not during the Shiva itself. So they can have the meal and enjoy each other, but it should be limited. In terms of Avelut, Dvam Shebet Sin'ah, what does that mean? As we said, no marital relations, washing for pleasure and learning Torah, and anointing yourself with oil, that should not be done. That's considered private Avelut. Public Avelut we do not have, which means a person could wear nice clothing, go out to shul with Shabbos clothing, Purim, whatever a person would wear. I know everyone wears costumes, but the Ramah writes to wear nice clothing. A person can wear nice clothing. They don't have to rip the clothing that they're wearing now, because that is public Avelut. We don't do that. A person doesn't have to sit on the floor. Sitting on the floor is my own house. Yes, but there's people around. So that's considered public. What if I'm home alone? The Avail is home alone. So right now it's not public, it's private. Yeah, poskim say we don't differentiate. Is someone home now, someone not? Sitting is something that people often see, and therefore a person doesn't sit on Purim. Surprisingly, these halachot of private Avelut versus public Avelut applies to both days. So therefore, we don't sit on, according to Mishnah Brura, on the Shushan Purim as well. You don't sit on the floor. That's considered public Avelut. Poskim say a person can come in Nachem Avail because he is still an Avail. We just don't have the public expressions of Avelut. That's it. That's basically an overview of the halachot for the an Avail on Purim that apply to the Eger, Hadas, Comb, Brill, dinner families. We wish them Nechama. So it's a different